Show us your balls.
Show us your balls. Welcome back, everybody, to Show Us Your Balls. It's Show Us Your Balls.
Would you like to lead us in introductions, dear friend?
Yeah.
Esteemed host?
Yeah, I'm your esteemed host, Malachi. I use they, them pronouns.
And I'm your turbulent host, Grace. I use she, her pronouns.
Turbulent's a good one.
Yes, I am very turbulent today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, how about the week? Have you had a turbulent week?
Yes, I have.
Tell me about
I've
it.
had a turbulent week. I'm not going to tell you about my week. I'll tell you some things I did this week, though. I watched some movies, listened to an album, played a video games.
Tell me about every single one of them in great detail.
So the movies I watched this week were 1917.
Which one's that?
It's the World War I movie about running through trenches to deliver an order to stop an attack.
Oh, right. That's like, isn't that, oh shit, who directed that?
Some guy that I've never heard of before. Well, it was like a story of his grandfather. It had like most of the people from fucking Kingsman in it. Like Colin Firth and Mark Strong were in it. Directed by Sam Mendes.
Okay, I don't know who that is. I thought I knew who it was. Okay, anyways, yeah.
I
What do you
also
think?
watched...
No, wait. Tell me what you thought of the movie first.
Oh, the movie? It was okay. I watched it while I was sewing. The one I had, like the torrent I got, had Korean subtitles hard baked in.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and it was also really poor quality.
Yeah.
So like, I'm glad I was watching it while I was sewing because it was kind of shit.
Yeah.
So I could just
So
kind
was
of
the
not
next
pay
thing?
attention. Next
What-
movie
what-
I watched,
yeah.
which was actually the movie I watched before 1917, but I watched it all in the same evening, was Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
I also think I know what that movie is, but I also don't.
It is Andrew Garfield as a medic in the military. In this one, he saves an impossible number of people by rappelling them down a cliff.
Damn.
Yes. It's got Sam Worthington, Hugo Weaving, Vince Vaughn, Andrew Garfield. It's
Why does
a
Vince
Mel
Vaughn
Gibson
sound familiar?
thing. Vince Vaughn,
Vince
because
Vaughn is
he's,
that fucker?
yeah.
Oh my god.
He's that fucker.
Okay. What do you think of that?
It was a good movie. I really liked it. I gotta say, Andrew Garfield's character, definitely a good vibe.
Good vibe from him?
Yeah,
That's good.
he meant well. Hugo Weaving's character is your typical World War I veteran,
In what way?
in that he's unstable and trying his best.
You see?
And then last night, to cap off the movies that I've watched this week,
Right.
I watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I do not know what that movie is.
You don't know that movie?
Not even a little bit.
It's a fucking great movie.
Tell me
It's
more.
a fucking, I believe it's a Coen brother. Yeah, it's a Coen Brothers joint that follows three dudes: Ulysses Everett McGill, played by George Clooney; Delmar, played by Tim Blake Nelson; and Pete, played by John Turturro.
Okay.
As they go about escaping from a chain gang and becoming famous, in a manner of speaking, on accident, trying to chase after some treasure.
Well, I do like the Coen brothers.
Yeah, it's a great fucking movie. It's got John Goodman in it. It's got motherfucking Stephen Root. It's got...
Interesting.
it's a good movie. It's a real good movie. It takes place during the 30s, I believe?
30s.
Like the beginning of the Depression era.
Right.
So it's a great movie. I was told it's a retelling of the Odyssey, a modern retelling of the Odyssey, which I believe makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll
Definitely.
actually really like the movie. So
I do like the Coen brothers. They make stuff that I enjoy. So maybe
I'll
I'll
not
watch it.
tell you much about it. It's free on YouTube, so you should go watch it. Like,
I should go and watch it.
yeah. watched it last night. It's a real good movie.
You said you listened to an album too.
I did, but I'd like to give you some room to talk here. So why don't
you want to give me
a
some
little
room
bit
to
you've done this week? And
What
then I'll
I've
talk
done this
about the
week,
album and the game.
I got something arrived for me in the mail.
Oh,
I
okay.
ordered some merch from a webcomic I've been enjoying. It's called Vertigo's Funland. The artist does some really cool shit. I think actually you would like this webcomic. It's got all sorts of like meat and like stuff that you would like. Blood.
What's it called again?
Vertigo's Funland.
I typed Webland.
There's clowns. You love a good clowns. It's a little bit heavy, but also it fucking it rules.
13 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I will keep this in mind.
Yeah. I don't know, the imagination from the artist, it's just like really good. And so I ordered some merch and it got here and it looks great.
That's cool. What else this week?
What else I've done? I started watching Spy X Family. Have you heard of people talking about that?
Sounds like an anime.
It is an anime. I don't watch many anime.
anime.
I watch like basically zero anime. But this is an exception, and this is maybe it's just like so funny. It's like at every moment the show decides, how can we raise the tension? Like, I don't care about what makes sense. Like, how can we raise the tension in this scene? How can we continue like feeding into the main idea, which is that everyone's hiding a secret from each other? What secret can we give each other? Like all these people that has the most amount of tension in it, and then they're like, yeah, let's just do that. Let's just go crazy with it, and it's awesome every single time. It fucking rocks. That show is awesome.
Cool. Now, I'm going to tell you about the music that I listened to this week. Have you ever heard of The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells?
I have heard of it.
Well, have you ever heard of the musical version of The War of the Worlds by Jeffrey Wayne?
I have not.
It's a beautiful thing, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
An hour or two of like the best fucking concept album you've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's fucking prog rock at its finest. Are you familiar with the Moody Blues?
The Moody Blues. I can't say that I am.
They made Nights in White Satin. And Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood. If I'm not mistaken.
Huh.
They're a good band. The vocalist for that band did worked with Jeff Wayne on this album, so they sang on the album.
Interesting.
And it's a great album. That's all I can really say about it. I don't want to spoil it, but
Is it like telling the story?
Yeah, it's telling the story, but it's also great fucking music.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, you're listening to it, and then it's got a fucking amazing motif that, you know, it's a motif it plays throughout, so you'll hear it, and every time I hear it, it gives me goosebumps, and I don't understand why. It's just that good.
Right.
Like, without fail, every time I listen to it, it makes me feel good.
That's good. I like when art evokes feelings.
I also really like the sound that it makes when they're trying to make it sound like the Martians are using their laser beams.
They got a laser beam sound? Fuck
Well, yeah. It's fucking great. I'll make you listen to it sometime.
It's the same sound every time for the laser beam?
Yes.
Or is it similar?
Yes, it's the same. I mean, it's a talk box. It's a talk box noise. It's somebody using a talk box.
I've totally heard what a talk box
is. It's a speaker that plays into a tube that you put the tube in your mouth, and then you make shapes with your mouth, and it shapes the sound. It's like when you put your phone speaker up to your mouth and you make funny mouth shapes.
Yeah. I've seen people use these.
Yeah, you've heard them in a Daft Punk song for sure. You've heard it in "Living on a Prayer" by John Bon.
Yeah.
I meant to
Did you
say
forget his
John
name?
Bovi. I was trying to say
John
John Bovi.
Bovi?
And I said John Bon Jovi on accident, which is correct.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I could distinguish that noise, but I have seen people doing it.
Yeah, it's a great album that everyone's listened to. And other than that, I've just been playing the Call of Duty campaigns.
Which ones have you gotten through?
I've played all of the Modern Warfare games at this point. I've played World at War, and I'm working on Black Ops.
Interesting.
Funny thing is, Modern Warfare 2 is the second game I played that week, where you were in the White House with Keith David shooting things.
I think you might have mentioned this before.
I might have, but
I think you did.
fuck you. I'm allowed to talk
You're
about it
really
if I
thinking
want
about
to.
that. I've heard that Modern Warfare 2 is like everyone's favorite.
It's a good campaign. Modern
the
Warfare
game
3 is also really good,
Yeah.
to be fair. I didn't care much for the first one. I mean, it was good, but I didn't care as much for it.
Right.
I think World at War is probably my favorite Call of Duty game, mostly just because it was my first one, and also one of the first games I got on my Xbox.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat that.
But I also really like Black Ops. Mostly just because it's, set in the Cold War. The Cold War has good guns.
That's
That's
really
like where
what
all
sells
of
it
the
for
cool
you?
guns come from. It's the Cold War era.
That's fucked up.
I mean,
what
it's
guns
true.
are you like all about in the Cold War?
You've got a lot of HK guns.
Like,
I'm pretty sure that's where the G36 is from. You've got FN made a lot of good guns in that era.
what guns have FN made other than the
The
FAL?
FAMAS.
They made the FAMAS?
Yes.
They totally did make the FAMAS. You're right.
Clearly, you're an uneducated Philistine.
Everyone always calls it the FAMAS. Like, with the FAL, it's really easy because everyone calls it the FN. Like, every game says FN, FAL. But, like, FAMAS, they always just call it the FAMAS.
Yeah, but it's the FN FAMAS. Did you know that in the early models of the FAMAS, they had to use steel shell casings because the brass ones got torn apart and
I
were
did
just
not know that.
ejecting shrapnel out of the side because of like the high extraction force. That's when the AK was made. Was like between World War II and like the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
So, AKs, fanboys get their shit. That's when the M16 started being popular. It was around that time. Just a lot of cool guns come from that era.
Yeah. Are you... One second. I'm doing research.
What kind of research are you doing?
I'm looking at FN because they are not listing... I think you're wrong. I don't think that FN made the FAMAS.
Yes, they did.
No.
Pretty sure they did.
FN did not make the FAMAS.
They have to have.
Oh, and you were so high and mighty about it too. That's really
They have to have
that's
made
really
it.
messed up. No, it was created by the Manufacture d'Armes de Saint Etienne. That really sucks for you.
I could have sworn it was a Fabrique Nationale rifle. Or bullpup.
Oh,
This is weird.
I'm so vindicated for not knowing.
Yacht Industries. I could have sworn it was Fabrique Nationale.
Nope.
What the fuck?
Wow, just because it's French, you thought it was made by the other French
I mean, to be fair.
gun manufacturer.
Yeah. That, I mean, you can understand where I'd be
I can't
confused
understand, I
about
guess.
that.
You were wrong, though, and you do need to...
I guess I was wrong.
You
But,
do need to remember
you
that.
know, FN made the P90. That's what I was thinking of because the fucking bullpups.
Was the AUG must have been also around that time.
Yeah, the Steyr AUG.
I love the AUG.
I mean, I don't care as much for it.
Yeah, and that's because you're a coward. You don't like the way they have the cool scope on it. You don't like how it just looks awesome.
It's kind of not awesome, though.
What's not awesome about it?
Here, let me pull a picture of the Steyr AUG.
It looks badass. It looks sick.
It looks like somebody was having fun with Lego.
What are you talking about?
It's just like, it looks like a weird version of like the early Thompson where it had like the weird sort of fucked up hand. Like
you're gonna list
foregrip.
like the G36 and then you're gonna be like, oh, but you know what sucks actually? The Steyr AUG.
It looks like a Chihuahua.
It doesn't look like a Chihuahua.
It's
How can you
thin
even
and
think
scrawny
that?
looking.
It's not thin and scrawny looking.
It looks like a Chihuahua.
If anything, it's like thicker than most other like rifles.
No. I don't think this is like a... No, it's not that good.
Some parts of it,
If
it's
the
got
barrel,
like bonus
like,
parts.
On the ones with shorter barrels, maybe I can understand, but still, like the fucking rail system's weird. It's like elevated really weirdly. So if you gave me one without that, with a
Well,
shorter
like there's
barrel,
okay, wait. There's the ones that have like the like not every one of them has like a rail system.
well, like they all have, most of them have rails, but like the ones with
Lots
the
of them don't.
elevated rails for the optic, like where like that are up where the optic would sit.
I'm looking at most of these and they like do not have rails. No rails in sight.
I don't like.
I think that's
it
a
looks
more.
good. I just don't think it looks good.
You're just wrong about that. It sucks for you because you're wrong.
You know what? I think fuck you.
True.
You're telling me the G36. You know what? To be fair, the G36 doesn't look as cool as the XM8.
XM8. It looks way better than the XM8. The XM8 looks like garbage.
The XM8 looks so cool.
The XM8.
The
they were
XM8 looks like a fucking dolphin. Are you saying dolphins aren't cool?
Dolphins are not cool.
You're not cool.
Dolphins are like the least cool animal. There's like every animal is cooler than a dolphin.
You suck.
People are cooler than dolphins.
People are not cooler than dolphins.
People are obviously cooler than dolphins.
There are so many things that are cooler about dolphins than people.
How did they decide we're gonna take this gun and we're gonna take off every like line from it? What if we made the most like spherical gun?
It's cool and futuristic.
No, it looks lame. It looks dumb.
You know what? It's not dumb though, because it's an HK gun. And HK guns are cool because they make them really easy to disassemble for cleaning purposes.
Okay, I think the G36 just looks straight better than it, and there's no way you can change my mind on this. It's impossible.
G36 is like...
I like the way the G36 looks.
I do too, but like I prefer the fucking...
Yeah, 'cause- okay, you like dolphins, okay? Opinion disregarded.
You're evil.
And dolphins are evil.
The G36 just isn't round. I like round. Round is visually pleasant.
I think that there's a place for it. And you know, on the ball pit, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but it doesn't need to be everywhere. You need to use it sparingly and carefully.
I think you're just fucked up.
I'm not fucked up.
The G36 is like the popular bad guy rifle. You like bad guys?
The G36 is the pop. You were the one who brought it up in the first place, A. B, you should really be going after the Steyr AUG in this case. You should be saying the
It
AUG.
looks
is the
like a
bad guy
Chihuahua.
weapon.
Okay.
They used the, you know who used the AUG? The, whatever the bad guy in, Die Hard was. He used an AUG.
Well, yeah, but that's because he's Austrian.
Okay, I guess you're right, but like...
If you're Austrian, you use an Austrian gun. I'm pretty sure the AUG's Austrian.
I feel like you're
Like
probably
90%
right about
sure.
that.
Austrian, yes. What's his name? Hans Gruber?
No, it's not the main guy that's played by, how do I not remember his name?
Alan Rickman?
Alan Rickman. It's not the guy played by Alan Rickman.
Who's the other
It's the, like, larger dude.
Die Hard, big, evil guy. It just says Hans Gruber again. You talking about this motherfucker? Fucking the blonde guy?
Yeah.
Carl
I'm talking about the
Brisky?
blonde guy. Yeah.
East German. So he's German. But, like, Germany is close enough to Austria.
Damn. Okay.
Well, it's close enough to Austria that I can understand him just using that, because if he was going to use a G36, which is a German gun, that would just be more fucking stereotypical bad guy with bad guy gun. He could have used another HK gun, but the G36 is probably their most recognizable, other than like the MP5.
It's
But you don't wanna
interesting
give a
how.
bad guy an MP5.
What? Did you say you don't give a bad guy the MP5?
Probably not a good idea.
You know what movie literally has a bad guy with an MP5?
What?
Die Hard.
Die Hard?
Yes.
Really? They're using all the guns?
They had a bunch of guns.
I might have to watch Die Hard.
You haven't watched Die.
You haven't made me yet.
You haven't watched Die Hard. I mean, like, okay, it's not that big of a deal, because Die Hard is not like a must-see movie compared to, like, I don't know, Princess Mononoke. That's a better movie. But
I
like,
haven't seen that either, because I don't.
Yeah, you should see it.
Watch anime.
it's, oh my god. Fuck you. I'm not even gonna give you a real response to that.
You're gonna tell me Ghibli movies aren't anime?
I'm gonna tell you Ghibli movies are so good that even if you hated anime so much that it, like, made you physically sick, you should, like, just sit through it. You should just, like, you should tough it out and watch the movies anyways.
I'm not saying, like, I'm not gonna watch the movies just because I don't like anime. I'm just saying I haven't watched the movies. And I don't usually watch anime.
I'm just... They're, like, a level above every other movie ever made.
Is this the episode in which we just talk about movies? I'm starting to think that's where we're going with this.
I guess. I actually watched a Ghibli movie recently. I forgot to talk about that.
You can talk about it now. This is the movies episode now.
I was watching Tales from Earthsea. I don't know how much people like that.
I've never heard of it. But then again, you know me and my not watching Ghibli movies.
Yes. Well, it's based on, like, the Earthsea series.
Which I have never heard of.
Never.
Never.
Huh. Like Ursula K. Le Guin's Earthsea.
Mm-mm.
Not once.
Nope.
It's based on that. I don't know how much people liked it, and I'm trying to figure that out now. Because, like, the way I saw it is that was not as good as the, like, primo Ghibli movies. But, like, no movie is as good as the primo Ghibli movies, you know? But I liked it.
Alright. I guess that's fair. You know what I mean? I've been meaning to watch.
What?
Oh shit! They added Paddington to Netflix.
They had Paddington 2, though?
No, but I don't need to
Cowards.
watch Paddington 2 because I can watch just Paddington.
They're too scared.
It's a movie about bears.
It's a movie about bear singular, I think.
Well, yes, but fuck you. I'm in
I think
season
I watched
5 of Better
Paddington.
Call Saul as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
What are you thinking so far?
it's a good movie.
Actually,
Go.
I watched some YouTube videos about Better Call Saul recently, and they are so good.
You know what I really like about Better Call Saul?
What do you like about Better Call Saul?
The call part. Where
You like the
call.
calling?
I like the calling. I like a little bit of salting as well. Salting and
Yeah.
calling.
You should watch these Better Call Saul videos, though. The channel is What's Therapy, and makes some banger fucking Better Call Saul. There's like 3 Better Call Saul videos. There's like so much Better Call Saul content.
You want to talk about good YouTube videos? I was watching a Villainpedia episode or video yesterday about Bioshock,
I see.
specifically about Andrew Ryan.
What was it saying? What was its point?
I was just talking about the villain.
I don't know.
Just, you know, explaining a little bit about Andrew Andrew Ryan. I almost said Orion, but he's not Irish.
Yeah.
He's Russian American.
I don't think I've ever seen a Villainpedia video.
Oh, would you kindly check it out? Get it, like Bioshock joke there.
Is that a Bioshock joke?
Yes, the whole fucking purpose of the first game is that you've been hard programmed to like respond to "would you kindly." You're like a fucking sleeper agent. It's your key phrase. It makes you do things. When Atlas says "would you kindly," you do the thing.
Admittedly, I haven't played the game.
You should play them all. They're pretty good games.
I'm busy. I got a million games, and then I'm a million more on the way.
They're fucking free on Epic right now.
I got them. Don't worry. I have them, but I have a million games to play. I still have to play Myst 3 Exile.
You have to play.
And
what?
you agree with me on that point.
What is it?
Myst 3 Exile. That I need to play that.
Yeah, we should do that together.
I've been playing other games. I need to finish out Antechamber. I started that. I didn't finish it. I started Control and didn't finish it. Although I don't know if I'm going back to Control. I thought Control might be the exact perfect game for me, and then it was not quite.
Yeah, I mean, if you like the cool, funny powers of Control, you might like the plasmids in Bioshock. Bioshock isn't that long of a game.
That's true.
You could beat it in 2 days.
Bioshock speedrun. I could beat it in 1 day. Don't test
could,
my gaming
but, like,
abilities.
you
8
should
hours
do it
of
in 2
Bioshock,
days.
no problem.
I think it's like a 10 or 12 hour game.
I'm googling this right now. How long to beat Bioshock? 12 hours. Okay, so maybe I just have to play really, really good.
Bioshock 3 will take you the longest because it's got 2 DLCs.
Is Bioshock 3 Bioshock Infinite?
Yes.
I don't think I'm gonna play Bioshock Infinite.
It's really good though.
I think that Bioshock 1 and 2 seem like games that I would enjoy, and Bioshock 3, I've seen enough of people playing it where I just like can't care about that game anymore.
Well, it's just more Bioshock, but like in the sky, and then also you go to Rapture in the DLCs.
Well, like, it's not though, because the story's not the same. And I'm gonna be playing these games not for like shooting.
The story in 2 is not the same in the story in 1.
They look like they're somewhat both interesting to me.
They're very different though.
Yeah.
In 2, you play as a big daddy that's gone like slightly off program.
I think Bioshock 1 and 2 look like they have stories that are interesting to me, and Bioshock Infinite does not look like it has a story that's interesting to me.
I just think that's not fair. Because you haven't played Bioshock Infinite.
It's
Bioshock
true that I'm
Infinite-
basing this on like an assumption that could be wrong.
Bioshock
Maybe
Infinite's
I'll-
kind of like the Saw 3 of the games.
The Saw 3.
Mm-hmm. Where Jigsaw himself is no longer like in control. Andrew Ryan's not in control because you're not in his world anymore. To be fair, though, I won't say anything because that's spoilers.
I think that if you wanted to say it, go ahead, because I think spoilers make games better every single time.
To be fair,
No,
Andrew Ryan's mostly out of the picture by the end of Bioshock 1.
Oh, I knew that.
Oh, yeah. Would you kindly kill?
True. They got...
I need to play all of those games again because I don't have any memories of 1 despite playing it relatively recently.
Did you know that Bioshock speedrun takes about 30 minutes? What if I just learned to speedrun Bioshock and then played it for the
speedrun
first
it the
time?
first time, play it through in 15 minutes.
Yeah,
world record.
new world record.
I think
bet
if you play Bioshock, I'll play it with you.
I bet if I learned the speedrun tricks for Bioshock, I could beat that game in 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. Maybe, but it takes several playthroughs to get good at it.
No, I'm thinking 2 hours first try. This is assuming, like...
You'd have to study the game for weeks before you played it to do that.
I don't think you're right. I think you underestimate the powers of speedrunning games.
Plus, then you wouldn't even be getting the full experience. It's not fair, I don't think.
I
You gotta play through the game normal the first time.
It'd be a different experience. It wouldn't be the Bioshock.
I think you
game
should play through them
experience.
normal the first time.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
I will say my favorite of the series is 2, but that's also because it was my first introduction to the series before I even knew what the fuck was going on.
So I should play BioShock 2 first.
No, you should play 1 first.
Well, you played 2 first, and you like BioShock.
Right, but that's because I was I wasn't even 9 when I played that game. I played it 10 years ago.
Well, you liked it.
Well, yeah, I liked it, but I didn't know what was going on story-wise. I wasn't capable of digesting that at the time. I was 8 years old.
Still. I should just go back in time, play it when I was 8 years old.
Maybe, I guess, but, you should play them in order that they were released. There's a new movie coming out for it, apparently, and there might be a new game in the works. Yes. Like a Netflix series, I think.
Netflix series are so hit and miss for me nowadays.
I feel like a BioShock 1 has potential to be real fucking good.
Does it?
Yes!
I feel like a lot of the time these game adaptations,
I would love to see a live-action Big Daddy. That'd be fucking awesome.
I think that's true that you could do a really cool live-action Big Daddy, but also at the same time, it feels like part of BioShock is I guess it's a very easy choice to make, whether you're gonna kill a girl or you're not going to kill a girl, like a little girl. But
it doesn't really have much bearing on the story as a whole, though. I mean, it does change what ending you get, but
I think that has a bearing on the way that you see the world, though. The fact that you have that choice. And I
sure,
guess you could see someone else having that choice.
The story of BioShock 1 itself is one of a man who thought he could rule the world, who ended up just fucking up miserably.
Maybe my thing is that
it's one of betrayal and family.
It feels like BioShock. Maybe you do before the city falls. Admittedly, again, I don't know all that about
BioShock Infinite's DLCs are as it's going to shit.
Okay, so I don't know that much about the. Well, I know some about the story. I haven't played them, so keep that in mind. But I do think that part of the problem is that some of these if you just retold BioShock 1's story, I don't think that'd make for very good TV or a good movie. Because it feels like...
That's why I think you do an anthology series of it.
An anthology series?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like a whole, anthology series. BioShock.
You do BioShock 1, 2, and...
Well, you do Rapture and then Columbia.
I just feel like the thing is that a lot of video games... the split between action and not action in a video game is way different from a movie. And you can change that a little bit, but you have to, really restructure the plot if you're going to do that.
BioShock is very narratively dense.
I guess.
So, if you focused more on the narrative end of it, you could have a good show on its own. But also, you can have some decent action in there as well.
I just feel like you'd
in
really
the form of, when you're explaining the plasmids... You'd you got the.
I think you'd just need to introduce more.
The atom, and
I think you'd need way more things going on in the plot to have it stretch for the amount you need, and not have it be only action.
I feel confident that you could easily make a good series on it if you knew what you were doing.
Yeah, and I will admit that clearly I haven't played the game, so you probably have a better idea of it than I do.
I mean, I've played them all, so I'd hope I have a better idea. Yeah, you should play them, though. If you do, I will play through them with you, because I need to play them all again.
Mm-hmm. It'll be a while, at the very least. I've got to play Rain World. I haven't played Rain World. Rain World's a good game.
It definitely doesn't seem like the kind of thing I'd be into.
Rain World? Mm-hmm. You don't like... spiders?
No.
The spiders thing, they do have spiders in that game. Spiders are not a big thing. I'm not very good about spiders either.
Fucking hate spiders.
They're really I was not expecting spiders, I'll be very clear. That was not what I was expecting when I went to Rain World. That game's cool though. Why do you not think you'd be into it? Maybe...
Just from the small bits of gameplay I've seen from you and whoever else was playing it in the server. It just doesn't look like my kind of game.
That's fair.
It looks like a Metroidvania minus the coolness of it.
minus the coolness of it.
Yeah. Like, it looks like what would happen if you took the combat out of fucking Ori or Hollow Knight.
It is. I do think it's
It just seems
somewhat
like a
useful.
puzzle platformer, and I'm not really into puzzle platformers.
You don't like puzzle platformers.
No, not
Number one puzzle fan hates puzzle platformers.
I just don't like it when you got to do platforming with the puzzles.
I love platformers. You just don't like platformers.
It's mixing manual dexterity with fucking logic, and I don't really care so much for having to do both at the same time in high mounts.
I guess that makes sense.
Like, if you've got a couple of platforming puzzles in a puzzle game, I don't mind so much.
What about a
Like,
couple puzzles
most
in a
of it comes
platforming
down
game?
to logic. A couple puzzles in a platforming game. I don't generally play just like straight up platforming games.
Mm-hmm.
So like your Marios and your Kanjo-Bazooies. To be fair though, those are more collectathons than...
No, they're platformers.
Well, I'm talking like the 3D ones anyway.
Banjo-Kazooie, yeah, I guess they're platformers though.
Yeah.
I think those are the ones where you're most likely to find puzzles. Like, you're not going to find a puzzle in Mario, really.
Well, I mean, like in Odyssey and in 64 and in Sunshine.
Yeah. I guess I think of, like, the traditional Mario games when you
I
say
don't like
Mario.
those either. In fact, I like those less, I think.
I figured,
Weird
given that
control
you said you
schemes
don't
aside.
like... Those games are... I mean, like, Mario 1 is good, and some of the early ones are very, very good. But, like, then you get to, like, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and it's like, there's too many words in this title, and there's no new content in this game. You gave me, like, the propeller hat. That's not really, like, a huge selling point.
I think the only Mario title that I really give a shit about is Mario Kart. Even then, I could go anyway with it.
I was playing some Mario Kart on an emulator, very legally. And
I wish they'd just make a Double Dash 2 already.
yeah, I really like Double Dash 2. I found that, so normally with Mario Kart Wii, specifically, Mario Kart Wii, that was the one I was emulating, the drifting is really, I just can't get a hold of it.
Are you
But-
doing automatic or manual?
Oh, you can only drift on manual.
I thought they had an automatic option.
You do have an automatic option, you just can't drift, you just turn better.
I fucking love manual drifting.
The thing is that the manual drifting, I was at a huge, like, it was impossible for me to do with, like, an actual Wiimote. But then when I was using, like, I was
Yeah, that's
emulating
the
it and using it a
Wiimote.
controller, it was, like, the easiest shit ever. It's, like,
don't-
exactly
don't-
the same
Don't play Mario Kart with a
as all the other ones.
Wiimote. Motion control sucks.
Well, it's not even that. Like, even with a nunchuck, it was tough. But then when I switched to, like, a controller I'm used to, it's, like, the easiest shit ever.
Yeah, it's because of the weird form factor.
I mean, like, I guess it's just, like, it was shocking how different it was. Because it used, like, before that, those controls felt like trash. And then suddenly, it was, like, the easiest shit in the world.
Shit! I just knocked a bunch of garbage off my desk. It was a guitar slide, specifically. It's a glass one, too. I could've been
Did it
better with
break?
that. No.
That's good.
It's already got 2 fucking internal cracks on it, though.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else for the episode, or is this about it?
I mean, we've only been going for like half an hour.
We normally shoot for like half an hour. We just
We
go
normally
over every
go for
single
like
time.
40. We go for 45. We end up going for 45 or 50.
Well, okay, well, do you have something else to talk about?
I mean, there's plenty of shit to talk about. We're just not talking about it. This is a weird episode, though, to be fair.
Go ahead and go ahead and start talking about something then, if you have something else to talk about.
I've been working on reading more 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. It's pretty good.
Oh, how far are you?
I am on chapter 4. I just finished chapter 3 of part 2.
Okay, you're gonna need to tell me story events, because I only remember the plot of that book and not the specific chapters.
Okay, spoilers for a many hundreds of year old book.
Mhm.
Last thing I remember they were at the Pearl Farm.
Pearl Farm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. They were fighting the shark. Save the shark. Indian man at the Pearl Farm.
Interesting. It's a good book. Really like that book.
I find it harder to get through because of all of the science words.
I found the earlier parts of it harder. At the point you're at, I was like cruising.
I really just want to get through it so I can start reading the Island of Dr. Moreau.
Right.
Because
you said you had Around the World in 80 days.
Yes, I do.
That's my favorite of the Jules Verne ones.
My first Jules Verne novel was Journey to the Center of the Earth, and that's the only one I've read other than 20,000 Leagues.
I don't believe I read that one, actually.
It's got a good Brendan Fraser movie. It's my favorite movie.
I did realize that when you brought it up. It doesn't nearly have that same draw for me.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Sorry, what was that?
I fucking love that movie.
Yeah. I finished a different set of books recently. I was reading the Mistborn books. They're by
Brandon Sanderson.
By Brandon Sanderson. I finally got through them all. Through them all. It's like 6 more books because like there's a first trilogy.
He keeps writing,
and then he just keeps going. And those books were good. He's not afraid to change things up in the world, which is good. Like, it's more exciting when you know that the entire world could be different after the events in the books.
Now, I will say, you said Mistborn, and I thought you were going to say you were reading the Mist books.
No. I was not reading the Mist
the game's
books.
Mist.
There are those. I have... Right? There are those?
Yes, there's 3 of them. The Book of Atris, the Book of Denis, and the Book of Tiana.
I would have to skip one of them.
Why? Why would you skip one?
Well, can you guess which one I would skip?
The Book of Atris, because you're an asshole.
I would skip the Book of Atris.
No, you wouldn't.
You're right, I wouldn't get actually. I would either read all of them or none of them.
I feel like we should read them together, book club style, if we ever do.
Yeah? Maybe that'd be good with, like, a couple more people. I just feel like book club works best with, like, 3 or 4.
Well, I mean, we've got one other person that we've been playing Myst with, so...
It's true. We could get someone else to read Myst. And then I'd have another Atris hater.
Yeah,
on my side.
I don't understand why you hate Atris so much. You both hate Atris.
I don't hate Atris, but he is kind of a...
he's doing his best.
He's clearly not doing his best at all points.
He's doing his best. You're telling me that if you grew up in isolation with a terrible person...
Okay, you said you weren't trying to fight it. I'm trying to not fight
it.
Okay, the one thing that I think is free to remind you that Atris is just, like, not... Like, he just screws you over. Is that he, at the end of Riven... He dunks the book when he could have had you go through the book
because
and then dunked it.
Because he knows that you'll find a way out.
But, like, okay, let's say you, like, had a big pit that was going to be formed, and you had a way to get... There's you and someone else in this pit, and you had a way to get them out of this pit. Or you could just leave them in the pit, and you know they'd find their way out. Would you just leave them in the pit?
There's 3 things you're forgetting to think about here. 1, Gen's a dick, and he will find his way. Okay, so you have to get rid of the book at
you're right.
some
And he could have done that,
way.
but he still could have done that while having you go through.
2, there was a time thing going on. And 3, can you really trust this person to, like,
he could have moved way
get rid
faster. No. You don't even need the other person to get rid of the book. What he could have done is he could have moved like 10% faster. He could have had Catherine go through. He could have had you go through, and then he could have, on his own, hit the thing the way he did, except you're through and not hurtling into a giant pit.
Except for the fact that it, like, takes just long enough that
Because he takes so long. He's like walking so slowly. He's like, let's very slowly open up this book. It's like you're at church. That guy's moving at like 2 frames a second.
I mean, to be fair, it was made in a fucking full motion video for a goddamn slideshow program.
Regardless, what could have happened? He could have showed both of the people the book. Clearly, there's enough time to send 2 people through, right?
And then he, you know,
and then as he's falling, he hits it himself.
What I think is fuck you. What if it preserves momentum when you go through the book?
I don't think it does. Atris should know whether it does.
Right, but what if that's why he does it? And he's like, you have to do what you did before. You have to wait until you get to the bottom of the starfisher, wherever that may be.
I still think it's like messed up that he leaves you. Like, he could have at least tried to get you out of there.
He makes no attempt. He does get you out of there. You meet him in Mist 3.
Okay, he does get you out of there in like the worst. Like, I mean, I don't mean get you out of there as in you eventually get out. I mean get you out of there as in like you don't go hurtling into like a big abyss for like some undetermined amount of time.
Besides, Mist 2 was supposed to be the last one in the series, but they got bought out by Ubisoft and they made more games.
All I think is that in that one moment, that's a clear moment. I think the other stuff is. I think I'm right about the other stuff, but I do think it takes more of an argument, and I don't want to argue with you. I do think that it's just free that Atris should have done more for you at the end of Riffin.
I think that's unfair.
What was that?
I think that's unfair.
But you like agree with all of my like points. What part of that do you not agree with?
I don't know. I don't care to remember because I've got other shit on my mind. You
just want to like you just want to be a fan of Atris. You don't want to like.
I'm too hungry for this shit. I think we need to wrap up so I can get food.
Let's wrap up. I'm gonna get oats. You're gonna get what? A nice steak.
I'm going to probably have this like something small.
You're gonna snack up so you can be prepared for a nice steak.
And then after I shower, I'm gonna make my pepper steak. And then I'm gonna try to talk to my friend.
Cool. Well, good luck with your pepper steak. And to the listeners at home, send us an email. Send an email at ballpod.show about something ball related, and we'll
show us your balls.
Show us your balls. See you later. Goodbye.
Auf Wiedersehen.